All right, so what happens now? The MMA's best insider, Ariel Helwani, is here. So we basically got 7 days to figure this thing out. What's the latest on a possible replacement?
Well, Zubin, as of right this moment, Saturday night, July 4th, I'm hearing that there are active negotiations between the UFC, Jorge Masvidal, and Kamaru Usman to make the Masvidal-Usman fight one of the most anticipated fights of the year in 7 days as the new main event for UFC 251. I'm told there is a path to making this fight happen. And this is very significant because, as you may know, that was the fight that was originally supposed to headline UFC 251. But unfortunately, around a month ago, the UFC exited the negotiations because they couldn't come to terms with Jorge Masvidal. So they went with Gilbert Burns, who was the cheaper option. But this is the fight that everyone has wanted to see since day one, since we all knew that Masvidal and Usman were next for each other, since they had their little kerfuffle at the Super Bowl media day in Miami back in late January. This is the fight that everyone wants to see because these two guys really don't like each other. So it's not done yet. They're still negotiating, but there is growing optimism that they can get this one done.
How about that? Now, there is just one other logistical concern. We all know travel, especially internationally, and if you're coming from America and going somewhere the rest of the world, it's not simple. So what's another way that this fight that you are essentially proposing here could happen under these circumstances?
Yeah, and before I give you that, let me just say, if this was, say, 8 months ago, I think the fight would be done tonight. But as you know, different times that we're living in, I mean, they have to take at least 3 COVID tests just to get to the fight. Plus, we're talking now about the international travel to Abu Dhabi and dealing with their government and getting exemptions. I mean, there are a lot of hurdles that need to happen or get, jumped over in order for this fight to happen. But I was just thinking of something earlier tonight. I don't know if you're a pro wrestling fan, but back in 1986, I believe, WWE put on an event called WrestleMania 2, and they had matches in different locations. Well, one way to avoid the Abu Dhabi factor in all of this is you just have this fight at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. They've been doing shows there for the past month. You don't have to go through all the protocols overseas in Abu Dhabi. You just do one fight. Once the co-main event between Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski is over, cut to Las Vegas, you do that one fight in front of no fans. Who wouldn't want that? Now, I want to make clear, this isn't on the table. They're trying to make this fight happen on quote-unquote Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, but I'm just offering this to the powers that be. If the Abu Dhabi part is some kind of big hurdle, just do it in Las Vegas, and I think everyone would be happy.
That's a great solution, and sadly, I'm old enough to remember New York, LA, Chicago for WrestleMania 2. That makes 2 of us. Ariel, thanks.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.